Hi everybody, I'm Johanna Basford, the ink evangelist and also maker of colouring books for grown-ups. I've teamed up with Canon to bring to you 4 new colouring sheets, one for each season, so fall, winter, spring and summer, and we're going to be releasing these initially exclusively for American colourists via the Canon app, and you need to have a Canon Pixma CloudLink compatible printer, just want to get that all right. But then laterally they'll be available to everyone, everywhere, with all the printers via the Canon website. So digital is fast and quick and all well and good, but there's something uniquely charming about ink on paper, and Canon really like that. So when it came to teaming up with them, we both really appreciated ink droplets on paper as opposed to pixels on a screen. So it was kind of like a dream collaboration. The Canon matte photo paper that we're going to be using in this tutorial is perfect for printing out all your holiday snaps on or pictures of the kids, but it's also really good for colouring. It has a really smooth finish, which is quite velvety, so if you're going to use ink, the ink will just glide on there really nicely. It's a nice crisp white colour, so your colours are going to come out super bright. And because it's quite thick as well, you don't need to worry about any bleed through, and obviously it's not a colouring book, so it's not as if there's an image on the reverse. So it's a great opportunity to do some really cool pen techniques that I usually don't get to do in a tutorial. If you want to colour with coloured pencils, this will also work on that paper, but personally I prefer a paper with a bit more tooth, a bit more of a rough texture, so you could find something like that instead. So grab your free colouring sheet from the Canon app and let's get colouring. So we're going to be colouring the fall design, which is this little owl surrounded by foliage and a couple little pumpkins at the bottom here. And I'm going to be using Staedtler pens. We're going to be using the Triplus fine liner ones with the small nibs, also the colour. So the colour pens have a thicker nib. They're the same colours though, so it just means you can lay down the colour quicker. And then for some really nice details, I'm going to use the Staedtler gold metallic marker. Let's get going. So because the paper is really velvety and silky smooth, the ink just glides on really nicely. But you still need to be careful not to go over the same area loads and loads of times, otherwise you're going to sort of saturate that area of paper and it might start to just lift the surface off a bit. So move quite briskly, and if you use the Triplus colour pens, they have a thicker nib so you can lay down the colour a bit quicker. Also always try and colour in the same direction so that all your tide lines sort of follow the same angle, otherwise it can look a little bit crazy and messy. Also, ink on sort of smooth paper like this can take a little longer to dry, so always work left to right or right to left if you're left-handed, so that you don't smudge it. Just gives it a little minute to dry. So with pens, you can't blend your colours like you would with coloured pencils, which means you get these really bright, vibrant pops of colour. But what you can do is wait until the ink dries and then go back in and add inky details. So for example, with this one, I'm adding some little gold polka dots onto the orange area, and maybe a little bit more here. You just need to remember to always go in with a darker colour over a lighter colour, so you couldn't, for example, put a really pale pink over the top of a dark purple. And then for these really fine little bits in here, I would use the Triplus fine liner pens with these really small nibs. They are perfect for getting into those tiny little details. So this is the one that I've been working on. I've still got a bit more work to do, as you can see, but part of the fun of colouring is always sharing your artwork. So when you're finished colouring in your Canon download sheet, don't forget to post it on Facebook and Instagram and tag at Canon USA or me at Johanna Basford, or use the hashtag #ColourWithCanon, COLOR because we're in America, or hashtag Johanna Basford, and we can't wait to see all your masterpieces. And don't forget to check out the Canon Facebook page and Instagram accounts for lots of inky inspiration and to keep up to date with when the next 3 colouring downloads, so we've still got winter, spring and summer to come, when they'll be made available. So thanks for watching and happy colouring!